How does that sound? Sounds good. Welcome, and welcome back to the opening event of the fall 2014 season of the Poetry Project. My name is Ariel Goldberg. I'm the Wednesday night coordinator here, and I'm so thrilled to have Jibz Cameron and Bhanu Kapil with us. So in the spirit of a new season, we're trying a different format, which involves you a little bit, but not yet. So we're gonna kind of go through both readings without a break, and then have a brief Q&A with both Jibz and Bhanu at the end. So while you're listening, if you think of questions or things, so please make sure you check out the book table and socialize afterwards, keep hanging out, but there's going to be no intermission, so to speak. So I'm going to now introduce Jibz Cameron. Behind the scenes of the tight spandex feedback loop of Dynasty Handbag, a 12-year-strong, mutating and crafted persona of the anti-superhero, is Jibz Cameron, who I'm very excited to have read at the Poetry Project tonight. Jibz's devoted audiences only continue to grow beyond downtown performance to include comedy, the Brooklyn Academy of Music, BAM, where Jibz has a show on October 17th. I hope that's the right date, yes? Yeah. Great. And of course the internet, where her video art and performance is amply documented to twist whatever version of reality is happening around your computer screen. Cameron is a master of a sensibility that is both consistent but always weirder and more surprising than you could ever imagine. Her brain is wired to glean the figurative gems from the dollar bin at the thrift store. Cameron's performances explore the realm of the epic. Past work has included Hell in a Handbag, a Dante's Inferno redux, Vertigo, about a diner waitress in space, and the scriptural read from tonight's Soggy Glasses, a feminist redux of Homer's Odyssey. The range of voices that nudge their way through isolation come to shower us, the lucky audiences, like catharsis candy. One thing you might find online on MOCA TV is Dynasty Handbag's recent music video, which narrates a US drone dropper somewhere out west playing their video game all day and getting very hungry. Many of D-Bag Productions feature print collage backdrops with explosions of fantastic oddity. And in an off-pitch, soothing tone is Jibz singing with an oversized pencil as a microphone, or a magic wand vibrator, or a mostly eaten fat carrot on a stick, or even a teeny tiny banana peeled and swaying by the hands as Dynasty Handbag swings from a paper-cut chandelier. Costuming is one thing, and so are the small pieces of language that get stuck in our teeth. I was so delighted when rolling over the subject heading Depression on Jibz's homepage when the embedded word press becomes hot pink, and I click on it to find all these newspapers and magazines freaking out about how amazing Dynasty Handbag is. The elastic details of humor seem endless with Jibz. I have spent many a moments gazing into her Instagram feed, on which she even posted a poem today that she'll read from tonight. And I scroll through the pictures convinced anything Jibz touches is poetic matter, a slice of pizza on the street folded up coyly by its lip with some fake hair tucked in, or sweet tamarinds spooning each other inside packaging, or an ad for the Tokini, in which Dynasty Handbag has to say, "Thank God, Tokini season is coming to an end." Please help me in welcoming Jibz Cameron.
Physical. That was my joy that you just saw. That was really great. Thanks for that introduction. I just brought my bag up because I have some props, just in case things get really boring here. It's a gift. Feels appropriate. I also have a telephone, in case anyone good calls. Anyway, it's really nice to be here. I'm honored. This is like, yeah, this is really exciting. This is not really my, you know, I don't do these kinds of readings very often. And I know it's not, you know, so serious, but I'm going to try to, you know, I printed things out, which was a good move, I think. Because I've been to readings and I remember what they did at them. And, you know, go with what you know. I'm nervous. I'd rather just be in the leotard leaping around instead of... Okay, so actually I'm going to read, I wrote some poems. I think I wrote 5 in the last 2 years. I'm going to read them all. Since it's fall, I thought, and this is the opening of the fall season here, it's a horrible time in New York City. Exhausting. I decided I would open with that one. So I'm going to read some poems and feel judged. It's cool. And then I'm going to read something from my new script that I'm writing, which is I've never done before. And that's for a live performance I'm doing at BAM. So this is going to be weird for me to take text and just present it outside of my masquerade, if you will. So you'll have to go on a journey in your imagination with me. But wow, what an intro. I feel good right now. I feel good about myself. My auntie's here, a poet, Shell Miller, and some pals. Forget your names. Okay, so this first one is called The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot by Dynasty Handbag, fall edition. So that's my persona name, but it's actually, I'm the same person. Okay, September is the cruelest month. Breeding, calendar obligations. Back to school is hell. Heterosexual couples mating, memory and desire, stirring, desperate city squirrels filling cheeks with acorn-shaped trash. The agenda is filling up time to think about what kind of boots to buy, art shows, and bullshit. Fall preview reads, more time gone by and you are still nothing. TV's fall season. Oh, you, time sucker, binge watcher, isolator in your isotoners, lonely toners. Summer was fun, yo, popsicles. Maybe you went to Fire Island, grilling. You were nude, now the trees will be. Earth was in a hot hangout. Now go back inside, child, and die. Our pumpkins will rot, and then it will be winter, die again. Now I'll read the other Wasteland by T.S. Eliot by Dynasty Handbag, spring edition. Okay, April is the cruelest month. Breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing old doggy doo-doo bags that have thawed through the greasy snow. Memory and desire stirring, dull roots with spring acid rain that makes. Winter kept us warm, covering with Netflix, soup and or stew and self-pity and complaining/bonding. Earth in forgetful snow that covers this filthy town with pure whiteness. Weird thing to say? Feeding, a little life with dried tubers. What rhymes with tubers? Bloobers, McGroovers, Studebakers. I know, that was excellent. Just checking my phone. I'm not really, I just want to time it. I'm so paranoid about taking up too much time and space. That was about 5 minutes, right?
You're doing great.
Thanks, I just wanted some approval. Okay, this is a poem I wrote upon returning from being out in the wilderness in the summer. And I think my first excursion, summer excursion, was to Fort Tilden Beach. It was pretty depressing. There was an oil rig out there, and these weird blobby, like, jellyfish eggs. This is called An Oily Day at Fort Tilden, and poem. Living in this world is no day at the beach. But when I went to the beach and I oiled up, I saw an oil down in the ground, which made me frown. What's on the horizon, you ask your future? A riggy in the water, penetrating Neptune's sandy bottom. How I wish I could mount that screw, top that, blow it up with mine eyes. My tan seems suddenly dumb. And the water was full of bubble tea blobs. Or were they eggs, rubbing upon my legs? Or the spawn of Armageddon and on and on. As I departed, I espied some protesters. Bless their hearts. It's not going to work, guys. But I appreciate it. I would join with you, but I have to pee, and I'm going out for kimchi tacos. So I forgot to print out this one really good one out of the 5. This was my 4th of July poem that I wrote when I was in New Hampshire this summer. It's called I Am America and Poem. Celebrate independence today, unless you are still dependent on your depends, which depends for a lot of people with incontinence, but our continents are free from the dependence on the UK, but not the PUKE of the same old bile aisle that our forefathers, John, Paul, George, and Dingo, and on to the Australia and its own incontinent brought from over there. If you still depend on your old ways, that's okay. Freedom isn't fwee. It's winding down a freeway without a helmet. Live free or die. Live free and die because you're not wearing a helmet. And then this is how it's done, right? People talk more in between, usually, like banter, because I'm really good at that. But I'm trying to be. Not a good shirt. Yeah, I'll show you my shirt. Like how you guys clap a lot. Okay, this is a poem I wrote about Kickstarter. I am in the middle of a Kickstarter campaign. Don't do it. Anyway, if you want to donate on my you know where to find it, right? I'm in that lull in between like the hard impact, the high impact gentrification of Kickstarter, and then it's like this lull, and then it's, you know, then you have to get desperate. So I'm not quite desperate yet, but I will be soon. Okay. I like it because it's subtle in here. I felt like a good addition. Okay, this is about Kickstarter. I was feeling sad this morning about it. Dear fans, an ode to you. You like me, I like you. Here's what you can do. Giveth me $10 each. Then I can make my crowd squeezing goal. which leads me to a Kickstarter poem. Oh, Kickstarter, why are you a lady so cruel? A fraught relationship. Good thing I'm into humiliation. Ego goes up and down according to your stock exchange. I wish I could exchange for a magic art pill or a magic bean that turns into a stock. Or stock in Amazon.com, which owns Kickstarter and my soul. Amazon aids my isolation, makes me less an Amazon woman, more of a lethargic skin sack. Here's my money. Thanks for the money, but here's my money. Can we exchange beans or shells instead of making a shell of me instead? And my rotten bean, my head. But also, thank you for donating to my Kickstarter. And please to give. The stock you're exchanging is an investment in mine, and mine country demands rent. To repair the rents in my soul that are made by Kickstarter campaign. I knew you would know what a rent was in that sense. Okay, now I'm really nervous. I have to read from the script. So I'll just give you a little bit of background on this thing. So I perform as Dynasty Handbag. We all know that. And this piece I'm writing for, yes, it's in 3 weeks. No, it is not finished. At BAM for the Next Wave Festival is it's called Soggy Glasses: A Homo's Odyssey, and it's based on the monomyth or the hero journey. You know, you can look it up, whatever. It's made up more. And so Dynasty Handbag goes on this journey. It's kicked off by this like prophetic rat in a subway, but it's really a subway sandwich place where she gets a sandwich, and the sandwich comes in a boat, and then there's a flood, and then she gets on the sandwich boat, and then she goes into her vagina, and then it's the journey through there. There's a cyclops at the cave, the entrance of the vagina cave, and then she gets into, pay attention, and then she gets and from the vagina she goes up into the intestines, so the journey is really into her own self, the self, the self, the self, 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 self. That's all we care about, really, admit it. And then when she gets through the intestines, there's a snake that comes up, and the snake, you know, because it's snaky intestines. I know. It's genius. It's actually her internal artist colony. So I'm going to start with, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to read and say, then this guy says this, then I say that, or I don't know how it's done. It's just wild tonight. Okay. Good thing I wore this polyester shirt. I'm single. Okay. So I get there, or the character gets there. Okay, where exactly am I? I need to get here. She shows the snake a map with a brain. That's where I need to go. The snake says, "You are in your intestines, otherwise known as internal artist's colony. You'll be here to make something incredible, but no pressure. Fun, love your work." Snake takes Dynasty Handbag to her studio. She passes by various artist snakes, wearing bow ties, hats, wigs, etc. They all kind of say hi while she walks by. Hi. Hello. 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 Welcome. And then I get into the studio and she says, "Wait, don't leave me here. What am I supposed to do?" "Make something totally amazing. Then you can leave. Dinner set 6:30. For anyone who doesn't know what it's like to be at an artist colony, I will tell you a little about it. Okay, you be me, and I'll be the artist colony. No, wait. I'll be me, and you be the... How about we all be the artist colony fighting each other? It's like this. This is what you have to say a lot. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, Jibz. 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 Like ribs, but with a J. What's that? Oh, performance art. Yeah. Brooklyn. Yeah, I know. We all live in Brooklyn. Oh, my name, yeah, Kapil, California, hippie parents, you know. Well, see you at dinner. I'm of two minds concerning the artist colony. Actually, no, I'm a one mind. That one mind believes it is a wretched social experiment that throws together insecure, attention-starved, dysfunctional egomaniacs. Including myself. A great opportunity to get stuck in your past, really revel in your old accomplishments, sorrows, and lives unlived. Or even better, lived and no longer living. You get to suss out the pecking order of the more accomplished artists and writers. I like to Google everyone and then decide if I should be nicer to them or avoid them because they have yet to win any award. Of course, that is what I'm suspicious of everyone else doing. They're all Googling me, either because they love me or they hate me. God forbid they may not be thinking about me at all. They're all in their studios, actually, not thinking about me. I should go to my studio. To my studio. It's like a shit room. Because I'm in Texas. Fuck, this place is shitty. Ha ha. Perhaps this is the end of the show and I should get shot out of my own asshole and be done with it. I never have any good ideas anyway. My shit sucks. I suck. I've wasted too much time doing nothing. I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. Been an activist. Went to college earlier. Wasn't such a slut when I was younger. Helped more. Was less fucked up. Went to more marches. More feminist cinema. More political art. Saw that person or that person. Okay, stop. Just get to work. Where's my pencil? And then I dig into my fanny pack where I find the book that I had previously in the beginning of the show. She finds a copy of, what's it called? The Time Traveler's Pants Odyssey. She looks at it like she has an idea, starts to open it, to read it, decides against it, just reads the back. I don't relate to any of this. Maybe I can just work in metaphors. Pinafore, metaphor? Title, start with the title first. The hero's journey and how it denigrates the very fibers of democracy. The homo monomyth, queering the cyclops. Dynasty Handbag will set forth on the adventure through a cave, a vagina, naturally. A cave into the what? The self, right? Another performance piece about the self. I mean, that's all I know about, so right? So fuck it. You can blame me. How do I get there? How do I start? I haven't a wife waiting at home, I haven't a son, I haven't any real things at all. Exactly, oh God, I'm a failure. Shit, here we go again. Days go by in the solitude of the artist's weird studio in the woods, staring into the void, making feeble attempts at exciting work, unable to move forward, stuck in the stories of the past. She lays away. She lays down for a nap. She naps the nap of the escapee. She awakens, disoriented, and spaced out and wanting candy. Let's just act as if I really were an artist. What would an artist do? W-W-A-A-D. WAD. What would an artist do? It's about, you know, artists. And decides to commune with nature, get inspired. The artist takes a walk to a nearby pond in the woods. She hopes to receive some of Mother Nature's inspiration. Ooh, maybe I will see a turtle. Or, oh my God, a mighty beaver. Nary a doubt that the wonder of nature will invoke a flame of creative fire. And then there's a stage direction that I leap. Alas, the muddy oval was home to scads of unexciting animal life, water skeeters and pollywogs. Nothing thrilling. Unsatisfied and still uninspired, she trudges back to her lonely studio, looking forward to crunching away at the remainder of her cabbage. and more staring into space, feeling inadequate. Suddenly, she feels a whoosh of wind against the back of her neck. Yow! Oops, timer's done. Okay, thank you guys. I'm done. That was a joke. That's so weird. Okay, so she feels a whoosh of wind. Are you guys listening? In the forest? We're getting inspired. Whoosh of wind. Yow! She looked around and saw an enormous gray goshawk espying them from a nearby tree. Caw-caw! She cried angrily. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I didn't mean to disturb you. But that did not calm the bird. In fact, it may have made the situation worse. Who is she to think the bird speaks her language? What privilege. For all she knows, she could have been saying, I'm coming for your children. The hawk dive bombs Dynasty Handbag chases her through the woods. She gets back to her cabin and slams the door. Panting, she looks out the window to see that the bird is watching her, making sure she stays put. All right, then she freaks out, blah, blah, blah. Tries to figure out what this means. I'll start here. Maybe I'm triggered because I have mommy issues. Maybe I want to have a mommy that attacks on my behalf. Maybe I just want to stay home in a warm nest with mama, where if there is anything around that may threaten my existence, she would fight it off. Bear, fox, drug dealer, rapist, bully, cold weather, rejection letters from foundations and other residencies. And when I'm ready to go off into the world, she would bravely let me fly free, secure in the knowledge that I have the tools I need to make it. I also would have a daddy, because hawks made for life. A cozy nest. Thank you, Mama. Or maybe that hawk is about my relationships, romantic, psychosexual ones. She's telling me, run, run, run from the predatory skanks that chase you down and keep running. Oh no, I tripped. Uh-oh, now I'm gonna get fucked. Oh no, don't. Fuck me. Don't. Oh no. I'm a victim. My favorite thing to be. But ladies, don't get me wrong, I can be a hawk for you too. I can be your power animal. You like it stalkery? It's a deal. I'll start. No, you go first. No, don't be that way. Just wait a minute now. Come on. Come on now, baby. So after I get through, or the character gets through this whole tumultuous shit going on inside, I'm just going to read you one paragraph from the glorious adventure. I don't know where it's going to get in the script, but this is when she's seeing herself from the outside. Maybe inside her own body, out her own eyes, into a mirror. It's looking back at her. Like, in real life. Okay. Hello, expanding waistline, you're a miracle. You have made room for the growing of baby. Thank you for that. I am a woman, and I love this woman's body. And what about you? Outer thighs, glorious, sturdy, wide berth, with which to support said baby if I so choose to do that kind of thing, which I won't. But isn't it equally amazing that I could? And you, boobs, I love you both equally. We love you too. We love you too. Mama, do you still love me even though I'm longer than her and point downward with my nipple? Yes, I do. I love you the same. Mama, do you, even though she has all parts of silky hair growing out of her, you love me the same? Yes, I do. Wonderful body. Wait, whose voice am I now? Yes, I love you both. Wonderful body, all parts that equal the whole and every hair, even me, even though I'm gray, only means you are more experienced. That's it. Thank you. I have a brochure for the show, and I'll see it out there. So, yeah, bye.
That was amazing. Yes. I'm gonna have like a laugh attack now. Bhanu Kapil's writing is the access point to raw states. Her many books and performances feature the energy of how something gets written or inspired. Every piece of information has a personhood to unravel, where vast planes of time collapse like a traveling accordion file folder. Bhanu is not afraid of sorrow and confusion, and then some sharp joys or distractions. Her work also contains robust obsessions. One obsession of Bhanu's writing, which I was very tempted towards in this introduction, is introductory remarks. They're endless, and what are titled in her newest book, Bon, which is almost out from Night Boat, 13 Errors for Bon, a preface, ash, a score, where we meet lists within lists. Bhanu is a tour guide through a meat forest that is far from intuitive. Endnotes, another subject heading within the preface, factor in early as number 4 in this list. The introduction is a barrier reef Bhanu blurs considerably because the center of her books often tie themselves up in lengthy meditations on what is sideways or alongside the writing. Bhanu's thank you page of Bon, for example, spans 14 pages. Gratitude is a legible weight, like the thickness of a memory foam mattress. And then Bhanu quotes what didn't make it in from numbered road notebooks, and that's the final section of the book. So the thank yous don't even come last. They are too thickly embedded. Bhanu's writing gets transmitted at times from handwritten pages. I have fond memories of watching Bhanu perform where her writing looked completely illegible, from layers of notation that resembled a tree that's gone through its season but keeps the really colorful fallen leaves sort of floating around and glued and attached to whatever its body must shed. Bhanu writes, I want to reimagine the boundary. This often includes confessions of process in the assembly line of revision. There is a subject or a title to one section of Bon called Auto-Sacrifice, and then the confession, yes, yes, I know AWP is not cool. I don't even know what AWP, actually with the acronym Associated Writers Programs. Anyway, it's not cool. Other robust obsessions for Bhanu are cyborgs, monsters, the immigrant versus the emigrant, the schizophrenia trail throughout titles or subject headings, and it's always refiguring the flatness of one starting point. She writes, what was in the work as an image had appeared beyond it as a scene. Please help me in welcoming Bhanu Kapil.
Thank you so much, Ariel, with whom I last swam in the Pacific Ocean with a great white shark, so to speak. Well, it's a little daunting to be here with you, and yet here I am with you. How will I get through the next 20 minutes? How will you get through the next 20 minutes? I find it very hard to write a poetry that I could set down at your feet like a glimmering, bleak bit of cloth. And yet that is exactly what I have brought. I have brought some paper from Colorado that equally I could crumple up into difficult rosettes and stuff into your lapels with a flourish and without words. And perhaps that would be the most true poetry I could present to you tonight, because it would correspond so closely to the feeling in my body, which is that I no longer quite feel like the poet that I came to this country to be. And nevertheless, here I am with you, 12 years after I was last in this room reading with the beautiful Brenda Coultas next to the chimney, or that thing, the fireplace. And so in coming here, I realized that it was the very last night of Pitra Paksha, which is the Hindu festival of the dead. And so I began to think about that. It's a season that begins on September the 9th, 2014. This year, in other years it wouldn't. And ends at nightfall, which it is, quite dark, on September the 24th, 2014. Is it September? It's September the 24th, yeah, it's the new moon. And in thinking of this evening and this space, I began to think of the one who had passed on, who we celebrate tonight. And for me, here, and thinking of your poetry performance community, that is Akila Oliver, who was my colleague at the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics, where I live, I beg your pardon, teach, in Boulder, Colorado. She was my colleague there and taught through the body and through activities of mourning and writing. And so it is quite typical to consider what is a food that that person might relish. And in dwelling upon that, I think I only ever saw Akila drink beer and consume cigarette after cigarette. I remembered a very chilly February evening a very long time ago. I had recently divorced and I drove very fast, feeling a bit sort of miserable and boring, to a faculty reading. And sat there horrified as one after another of my esteemed colleagues went up and read passionate poetry for far and near beloveds. And I was like, what is happening? For in my lap I was clutching a typical poetry of that time, a poetry of dismemberment. There were stomachs cut out, women tied to trees. It was horrible. And it's like, what's going on? Akila went up and read Sappho fragments. I'm like, Akila, what's going on? And she broke it to me that it was Valentine's Day, and that in fact I was attending a Valentine's Day faculty reading. And this led to what I think of as my first performance. A performance that did not go very well. Nobody clapped at the end. It just involved Akila laughing in the audience as it was happening and inviting me for my own artisanal beer next to a forest. Because she wasn't one to be ashamed or embarrassed.